Hey guys, Tekify, and today I've got a review of the Geek SK64S, a $75 or £55 mechanical keyboard. So that's a bit more expensive than some of the budget keyboards I've reviewed recently, but it does have some good features which may make it worth the price. If you do enjoy the video, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you can even enter my 3000 sub giveaway which is currently going on, where you can win a Razer keyboard, Logitech G203 Lightsync or a Steam gift card, so make sure you enter with the link in the description. If you're just here for the sound test, then you can skip to this time here or just use the video chapters, but I recommend you watch the rest of the review afterwards. So guys, let's get into this. In the box you obviously get the keyboard itself, the cable, a keycap and key switch remover, as well as some instructions. Build quality wise, this keyboard is really sturdy, really strong, there's no flex, creaking, anything. It reminds me of the Geek GK61 which I just reviewed, and I will be comparing these two keyboards in a future video. Similar to the GK61, you don't get any adjustable feet, but the typing angle was perfectly fine for me for gaming and typing. Obviously more adjustability is preferred, but I had no issues with it. If you're going to be using this keyboard wired, it uses USB Type-C and connects to the left hand side of the keyboard, which for right-handed users will obviously be the preferred option as it'll give you more space to move your mouse. The keycaps are the best I've seen so far on a little mechanical keyboard I've reviewed. Obviously they're far from perfect, but for included keycaps on a keyboard that's still relatively cheap, they're really nice. I personally like the font and the feel of them was just a lot better. You also get this cool two-tone design, which on the black version you get some darker grey keys as well as the red escape key and delete key. This keyboard is obviously mechanical and it uses Gateron switches. In particular, mine has brown switches. In addition to this though, they are optical switches, which mean you're going to get that fastest response and longer lifetime out of the keys. However, in reality, you're not going to notice a difference between a normal mechanical switch. If I put them side by side, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference in terms of responsiveness or anything like that, but it is really nice to have. My model does have brown switches, so here's a sound test of me typing on it now. If you want to skip that, once again, video chapters or skip to this time here. This keyboard is also hot swappable, which is a really cool feature. So mine has Gateron brown switches, but I could pull them out with the included remover and put in Gateron red switches. You do have to be careful you don't damage the keyboard when you're doing it, but it is a really nice feature to have and I really like that. One thing to bear in mind is since these are optical switches, you can only put optical switches in this, so if you bought standard 3 or 5 pin Gateron switches, they wouldn't fit. This being the SK64 and having 64 keys means you do get a little bit of extra functionality, so in particular you get dedicated arrow keys and a delete key, which I really like because personally I can't live without dedicated arrow keys and a delete key. That being said, maybe I'll get used to it, but I still haven't got used to the fact that the delete key is down here, and one thing that does annoy me is the shift key on the right is just the size of a normal key, so it's really small. For gaming though, it's absolutely brilliant and I had no problems. One issue though with this 60% keyboard, and it goes back to the keycaps, is they don't have the second functionality of each key. So obviously you press function and then for example function 5 would do F5, therefore refreshing the page. However, on this keyboard it doesn't say what they are. Luckily on the included instructions you do get that information. However, obviously you don't want that on your desk all the time, so until you get used to this, and that may take a while to find all the individual buttons like insert, page up, some of the punctuation and media keys, it can take a long time to get used to, and that can certainly be quite annoying. My model is also the Bluetooth model. The Bluetooth worked absolutely fine. The instructions once again were in colour and they worked really well. I could easily find out how to pair it to a device, switch between wired and wireless mode. You can connect up to 3 devices using function Z, X and C, and switch between wired and wireless with function spacebar. One thing that did annoy me though is it doesn't seem to go off, or at least in wired mode, and then in wireless mode it takes a long time to go off. There is no actual on and off switch like other Bluetooth keyboards I've tested, which is actually quite annoying. It means if I go to bed at night and the keyboard, it just stays on in the dark room for a long time, which can be quite annoying. You can manually turn the brightness all the way down, and I think it does seem to go off after 10-20 minutes or something like that. It's just a little bit inconvenient and a bit annoying. It also doesn't make sense how right now it's in wired mode, yet it's still on. Surely it should only come on in wired mode if it's plugged in. Some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. I personally would have preferred a on and off switch at the bottom, so I can completely switch the keyboard off, know the battery's not being drained, know the lights are off, and things like that. Finally, for the lighting, as long as you've got the instructions which tells you the different keys to change the lighting, you can customize the lights loads. They do look really cool. Obviously they don't glow through these keycaps, which means it's a bit more subtle, but I really like that. The instructions also have a link to download the software, which you can customize the keyboard completely like you would any keyboard from a big brand. Overall, this is a great mechanical keyboard. It really shows that paying the extra money for a better one, you do get better features and just a better overall experience. That being said, what do you get over something like the RK61, which is basically half the price of this? You don't actually get that much more. However, if you've got the budget for this keyboard, I think it's absolutely brilliant. For a lot of people though, the GK61 will do the job, and I'll have a comparison video of that soon, like I said, so you can find out which one you preferred. In the meantime though, go check out my review of the Geek GK61. I personally think it's now the best compact mechanical keyboard I've reviewed so far. Other than value for money, there aren't really any major cons to this keyboard that I can see after my testing. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure you leave a like and even consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to look as cool as me, and I know you do, you can get yourself some merch at tekify.co.uk/merch. Don't forget to join the Tekify Discord, link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.